Hey guys, it's Josh, also known as Nerd Life here on YouTube, and welcome back to the ATMOS Devlog. Before this video gets started, I just wanted to say thank you for all the support on the first video. I honestly didn't know what the reception would be, how many views I would get, how many likes and comments, and the support has been amazing, so it's just inspiring me to continue working on this game, and again, I just wanted to say thank you. So since the last devlog, I made a few changes to the game. So let's hop in and check those out. Alright, so as you can see, the crosshair is back, and now our character has this little drone fellow following him. So originally I had the beam that the character would hold in his hands, but then I started thinking that this would be a really cool idea to have a drone kind of flying around with the character, and he would be your little companion on your adventure. And not only that, but he would help you throughout the way. So I think what I'm going to do is make this guy your gathering tool, potentially make him a weapon in the future. I'm not sure, but it just opened up a lot of ideas in my head when I added this, and I'm pretty happy with the way it looks. So now the crosshair turns green if you are hovering over a collectible resource. I've reworked a lot of my code to be more reusable, to make more sense. There's actually been a ton of work since the last devlog, but you're just not going to really see it too much here. It's more in the code. But yeah, so the crosshair turns green if we are hovering over a collectible resource, and then if we want to farm that resource, our drone friend now is the one that does that for us. So I think it looks really cool. Let me know what you think in the comments below. So in this devlog, we have a lot of work to do. As you can see, the next version, I want to get placing items from the top-down view, storage containers, a day-night cycle, a bunch of new meshes, and animations in place. So this devlog is going to be very exciting. But considering we have so much work to do, let's hop right into it and get started. So the first thing I want to work on is placing objects within the game world from the top-down view. This will be used when you place new parts of your base, placing new plants. There's going to be a ton of instances where this is used. So I thought it was very important to get it working and functional early on. Let's get started. Okay, so about an hour has passed, and I've came up with a crude way of placing items in the game. Basically, when I switch over to my top-down view, as you can see here, we have this build button. Once I click this build button, I have a controller that's going to put us in a state of ready to place. So we're ready to place a building at this point, and now I'm just going to simply convert the raycast hit of my cursor and instantiate a new prefab in that location. In this case, it's going to be the rock nodes that you see here. That seems to be working very nicely. Now, I don't want to be able to build these things anywhere. I want to have certain areas where you're able to build and certain areas where you're not able to build. That's going to be a lot of work and a pretty big challenge, I think. But I'm excited to see what I learn as I go through that process. So let's hop into that. Alright, so surprisingly it didn't take too long to get to this point. So basically what I'm doing is checking to see if we are clicking on the terrain object. If we are and there's no collisions within this sphere around the hit point, then we place an object. If we click on anything but terrain, it's not going to allow us to place the object. And if we click too close to another object, we're also not going to be allowed to place an object. So let's check this out. If we click build, and we're now primed to build, and we should be able to click around just fine. Now, if we try to go somewhere like right here, we're not going to be able to build anything. If we try to go right on top of a rock, we're not going to be able to do anything. If we try to go right on top of our player, again, this is pretty cool. It's going to allow me to adjust the radius of collisions for different items and different things that you want to put down. Let's say you have a tiny little chest. Well, we probably don't care about too many collisions around that chest, so we can decrease the radius to basically nothing. It's really going to open up a lot of opportunities, and already it's making the gameplay pretty cool. So you can place these rocks in, and then when you switch over to the third-person view, you're able to destroy the rocks and pick them up. But yeah, I'm super excited with this. This is pretty cool. Alright, so while I was working on placing objects, I kept thinking to myself that the way I was doing inventories and items just, it was working, but when I scaled it up, I don't think it would have been ideal. I think it would have got really messy, and every time I sat down to code a new feature, I kept thinking about my currently implemented features, and it just wasn't sitting well with me. So what I did is I went through and revamped the entire system to now use scriptable objects. I followed a great tutorial by Coding with Unity here on YouTube. I'll leave the link down below in the description. I didn't follow like the entire thing, but I followed some of it and used a lot of his concepts. Not all of them. I still have my own going on in my own system, but just these scriptable objects for the most part. That's what I wanted to get out of that. And now I think I have a system that is much more expandable and much more efficient. So what I've done is added another resource type here, which is just red rock. If we pick that up, we can go into our inventory, and you'll see the inventory is a bit different as well. Something else that changed is how the UI works. So the UI now doesn't populate empty slots. Instead, it dynamically populates slots, and that's something I was really looking forward to implementing, and it turned out to be much easier than I thought, so I implemented it while going through with these scriptable object changes. If we were to gather regular stones as well, you can see that we now have kind of indicators in the UI that they're actually different items, so that's pretty cool. We can remove items, and you can see it dynamically shifts the cells around, and that's really what I was going for, so I'm super pumped with this inventory system now. And I think for, implementing chests and storage units and stuff like that, which is coming later in this devlog, this is going to be super helpful and just make it way easier. So that was something I wanted to do, clean that up. Again, check out that tutorial if you are interested, but this is what I was able to create by expanding off of that tutorial. And again, I'm super happy with the result. So let's move forward with placing objects once again. So with this new inventory system in place, it was super easy for me to implement a build inventory, if you will. So if I go into the top-down view here, you can see that this new inventory pops up with two buttons for red rocks and rock nodes. Rock nodes being these big guys, red rock being these little guys. So if I click on red rock, I can then place red rocks around. If I click on rock nodes, same thing. One thing I want to implement though is a specific radius for each object for collisions. So currently I have in place if there's anything within a certain radius of your click, you're not able to build an object. And for right now, both of these objects are using the same radius around the click. I don't want that to stay. I want the red rocks, since they're smaller, to have a smaller radius, because I should be able to build one right here, you would think, and in between these guys, you would think. But since that radius is the same for each object, I'm not able to. Obviously, with the rock node, it makes sense to not be able to place them here, but for the red rocks, you should be able to. So that's something I'm going to work on next. Okay, so this actually turned out way easier than I expected. Basically what I'm doing is creating a scriptable object for each of these buttons, and that scriptable object simply holds the placement radius of each buildable piece here. So the red rock is at like 0.5 and the rock node is at 2. So you can see we can place a red rock in between because the placement radius is a lot smaller, and then the rock node we still cannot do that, but we can place these in smaller areas, and then the regular rock node needs a larger area. So that's going to make it very easy for me when I'm dealing with, crafting tables or whatever comes in the future that you're going to be able to place. Depending on the size, I can then adjust the placement radius very quickly. So very happy about this. It looks like our next objective here is storage containers. So basically what I want to be able to do is transfer items from your inventory to a storage container, and from the container back to your inventory. I want to create a mesh for this as well, and possibly an animation. So this should be pretty cool. First modeling in the devlog, very excited, but I'll check back in once I've completed this. Alright guys, checking back in a few days later, and I have a huge update for ATMOS, and I'm super excited. Like, you could probably hear it in my voice about how excited I am. I just finished up the base character model here. I was using a placeholder character for the entirety of this devlog so far and the entirety of the game's development, but I really wanted to dive in and make a space-themed character that I would be happy about and could look at while I develop, and it might not be a final product, but I'm very excited about it nonetheless. You also saw me make a few more meshes, and you're about to see those when I pop into the game here. And I finished up the storage containers, so a ton of updates. Let's check them all out. Another thing I did is I changed the terrain to be this sandy, deserty feel. So here we are in the game. We have our drone next to us, which is a new mesh that's definitely going to be changed, but I wanted to, again, throw a placeholder in there for now. We have our character mesh, which is looking pretty damn sick, if I do say so myself. I'm very happy with the way it turned out. It's animating just fine with the animations that we have so far. You can see the idle animation, and we have a chest here, which is another mesh. Again, all of this is going to change, but I wanted placeholders in to work with. So the main goal, other than the meshes, was to implement this storage container system. And you can see if we pick up these guys, if we shoot these rocks a little bit to pick these up. Now, if we go to our storage container, we can get into it by pressing E, and you see this double inventory open up. For now, it's super bare bones, super basic, and I just wanted to try to get the basic functionality in. If we add items, they're transferring from my player's inventory over to this storage inventory. If we now leave the storage inventory, maybe pick up some more rocks here, and we get back in, you can see that it maintained the items in the storage inventory without a problem, and we can now add more rock pieces. So really cool. And not only that, we can go into our storage inventory and switch them back to our player inventory seamlessly. So it's working quite well. It did take a while to develop all of this stuff. Again, I'm checking in about 3 days later. I'm not really sure what the date is, but it did take a few days to develop all this. We also have the ability to build stuff still. You can just hear the excitement in my voice, man. Like, it actually feels like a game now. A little bit. Like, the basic functionality of the game that I'm trying to make is falling into place, and it feels really, really good. So the last thing I want to do before this devlog ends is implement a day and night system, and maybe get some post-processing, just make the game looking a bit nicer, because I really like this low poly look. But I think I need a different lighting shader or game shader or something to make it really feel like what I'm going for. But anyways, there's the update. So I will go in, I will do the day-night cycle, and I'll check back in when that's finished. And that'll be it for this devlog. We are 1 day later now, and after a few hours, probably more than a few hours, quite a while, I have came up with this day-night cycle. So, custom skybox. Definitely the colors are a work in progress. I'm definitely not satisfied quite yet. It's way too yellow to me at the moment, but just wanted to get this system in place and then be able to tinker with it as I go. And I was able to do that. I wanted to go for an unearthly type feel, so I don't want it to feel like you're on Earth, and that's why the atmosphere is so strange. Now, I haven't decided what planet this game is going to be set on. It very well could be Earth. Not 100% sure, but you know, there's still work to be done with this day-night cycle, but I just wanted to get something simple in place that I could work with moving on into the future. And like I said, tweak and perfect as we get closer and closer to the end of this journey. But I'm very happy with it. I think it looks pretty cool. Obviously, it's scaled up, so it's super fast right now, so you guys can see what's going on. In the actual game, it would be way, way, way slower. Again, that's a decision for the future, how long the days and nights are going to be, but the shadows moving and everything in the sunset and sunrise is just really cool. So I think I'm going to call this devlog complete. We made a lot of progress in this one, from making this inventory system to making storage containers to all types of stuff. It's becoming an actual game, and that's super exciting. So it'll be exciting to see what happens in the next devlog, and to see where the progress goes. But I'm very motivated to continue this, and again, the love on the last devlog was huge. So please, if you haven't yet, subscribe to stay up to date on the devlogs. leave a like, leave a comment, and make sure to join the Discord down below as well. Have a few people in there, and would love to see a lot more new faces in there and just discuss the game and help me come up with new ideas and all of that. It's a great place to communicate with you guys. So thank you for all the support on the first episode. This is it for the second episode, and let's start the grind for the third episode. See you in the next one, guys. Peace.